Not that I'm keeping count, but I'm pretty sure we have already unboxed and reviewed more diagonal inches of TV than anybody else on YouTube. Is that a weird flex? I don't know, I don't care. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of work, but a lot of fun. And we're going to continue breaking that record with our next television, this monster behind me, the Samsung 98-inch Q90D. Let's get into it. All right, here we go, guys. Can't go any further in this video without once again thanking Peter, IT Peter, and Greg for coming down and helping us out, lending a little bit of muscle. These TVs are no joke. They are super, super heavy, and yeah, there's no way we could do this without their assistance. So toss them a thanks in the comments, would ya? Also, by the way, I have seen some comments from previous videos, I think the Hisense 110UX, from folks insisting that neither Peter nor Greg really looked like they wanted to be here. I can assure you that this is the best part of their week. There is no way they're having more fun sitting behind their desks than they are here helping us unbox these amazing TVs. So yeah, just chalk it up to them not knowing that the camera was on them at that time. Give them a break, y'all. With that said, if you notice that their smiles today seem a little bit, oh, I don't know, aggressive, you'll know why, you know, because I shared your feedback with them, and so they are gonna bring their best efforts today. All right, so as you know, whenever we unbox these TVs, it's kind of a, I don't know, discover as we go kind of thing. We don't know exactly how this is gonna proceed, and that's definitely the case here. Although I have to say, the fact that this does not open like a gigantic encyclopedia is kind of a good start. Never know what to do with these pieces of box material. Yep, that's gonna fall on me. All right, what do we have here? Power cable, remote, no batteries because it's a rechargeable remote. We'll look at that a little more closely in a minute. And then, yeah, I checked this out before we started the unboxing. I'm still kind of shocked at the fact that this, oh my gosh, how did we even get this thing out of here? Here we go. Kind of shocked that this thing has a centralized pedestal stand. Normally a TV of this size and weight, you get feet because that's the most stable and the easiest thing to do. But Samsung, I mean, I think they're going for a specific kind of look here. Samsung really needs to differentiate this particular TV from the competition because, let's be honest, it's a lot more expensive than the competition. Actually, let's talk about that for a minute, folks, as I load my kitchen up with a bunch of TV box material. Let's talk about the price of this TV. This 98-inch Samsung QN90D had a coming out price, or a list price, of no less than $15,000. Now, that is a lot of money without any context, but let's, yeah, you go ahead and just stay right there. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. That's a lot of money without any context, but let's throw some context behind this. TCL sells the 98-inch QM8 851G for about $5,000 or $6,000, depending on what day of the week it is. Samsung, even after a $5,000 price drop, right? Samsung is selling this TV for $10,000. And I don't know, I think a lot of people are wondering, where do you find $4,000 to $5,000 worth of premium? Certainly Samsung makes a premium TV, and it offers features that you can't get from any other TV brand. Integration with other Samsung products, for example. I imagine this TV right here is gonna be an excellent pairing for the Q90D soundbar, but still $4,000 to $5,000 more than TCL or Hisense's high performance. These are not their budget 98-inch models. That's a lot. And so I can't help but have that be kind of a underlying undercurrent during this whole review. But that brings up a good opportunity to ask for your comments. Let me know what you think. Is there any world in which Samsung can justify that kind of price premium for a TV like this? Also, keep in mind that if I'm not mistaken, this is a size of TV that you can't get in 8K from Samsung. So if you want to get up to the 98-incher it's gonna be this particular 4K set. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. All right, so to get the pedestal stand on this particular TV, and you do this with smaller TVs as well, the idea is that you kind of deconstruct the lower portion of the box, undo the flaps on the side, put this rear flap down, and then we should be able to remove one piece of foam, exposing where the pedestal stand is going to affix to the back of the TV. Now, this is something I normally don't do because, I don't know, it just seems extra to me. I just prefer to lay the TV down flat, have easier access to the back of the panel, and then erect the TV up on our media stand. But obviously, we're not gonna be laying this thing down on anything. It is a well-built, super heavy TV, and I don't trust whatever I would put this on top of. We're gonna follow the instructions on this one. All right, so it looks like we're working with a 2-piece stand. It is robust. This thing is very heavy. So I do have good confidence that it's gonna support the TV well. What's interesting though, is that it appears that this TV is going to be held up with the assistance of these tiny 4 screws. I'm not a physics major. It just blows my mind that that's even possible. You know what I mean? All right, so we'll start by getting this decorative plastic cover off so that we can access our 4 screw points here. And interestingly enough, this collar, I guess we'll call it, doesn't actually need to be screwed into the base. It's got this interesting sort of like lever style clasp that holds it into position. So yeah, kind of, I don't know if you can see this right now, but there's keyholes on the bottom of this. So it'll lower down, kind of slide into a keyhole lock, and then we'll flip the lever and that should hold these 2 pieces together. All right, so we're on the nubbins, but there we go, like I've done this before. And then, well, plastic flew off there, so hopefully that's not the end of the world, but let's give it a stress test. Yeah, I think that will work. Now, let's see what we're working with here on the back of the TV. Something tells me that maybe this piece of foam's gonna get in the way. I don't know, let's give it a shot. You know, aside from the figuring it out as we go part, like, does anybody else feel like this is maybe a little bit easier than the 110 and 115 we did? Nope, just me? Okay, thanks for the commentary, fellas. I know people don't look at the back of a TV very often, but I mean, as I'm assembling this right now, it really does have a more premium vibe to it. Samsung's been pretty good about putting attractive backing on their TVs, which I've always clowned because, like, when are you looking at the back of your TV? But that whole pride of ownership thing, that happens in the first 10 or 15 minutes of you interacting with a TV, so I guess there's that. Also, while we're here, before I slap this cover on, let's note that there is some cable management here. You're not gonna be able to fit super thick cables here, but it looks like there's 3 or 4 HDMI cables worth of cable management going on here, which will route things right out through this little notch at the bottom, which is great. Cable management's important. Sometimes I feel like I gloss that over. Not today, pal. Guys, I think all we need you for now is to lift this up onto the BDI and then you can go home or to the office or wherever you want to go.
The police came.
That's classic. I've done that so many times, man. All of a sudden it's like, you're under arrest. Real quick while we're back here, you know what I am surprised by is that there are no base transducers back here. That's something that we see on most of Samsung's premium TVs. I'm not sure why they're not here. Probably some other kind of speaker solution. There are a couple of vents towards the top. So I will be putting my ear right up to those and seeing what they do, especially with all this surface area. Normally I would expect to see some base transducers back here. So TBD on the sound quality. All right, now let's get this thing up on the BDI. All right, there's one, and then let's go get the other corner. Got that, Peter? Outstanding. All right, let's do some reveal action. Greg and Peter, would you mind grabbing the cardboard and then I'll get the foam sheath? Yeah. Oh yeah, good, just tear it up. Oh man, that's a big one. We got a special little barcode happening right here. Before we get it up there, I'm wondering if we get to have an awesome film peel, and I think not. Actually, that reminds me of a story that I don't think I've told ever. This happened a while ago, but I was unboxing a Samsung TV and I was sure that it had protective film on it. And so I kept looking for the place to kind of like get that initial, you know, pick at it so that you could get that film peel off. Turns out there was no film on that TV, so I was literally picking the panel apart. I destroyed the TV for my review, and that was embarrassing. That was not a fun call to have with Samsung. Samsung, I'm still sorry about that. So yeah, I learned from that mistake. There will be no film peel. Now, for real this time. For real, we're gonna get this up on the BDI and see what it looks like.
Is there a barcode on the actual screen then?
It's just a sticker. Hold on, I lied. Oh man, there is film here, which is good. You know, it makes me look like an idiot, but also that's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, fellas, would you go ahead and get that guy up there and then we'll reconstitute the box.
Bend or a knee? 1, 2, yep.
That's perfect, guys. All right, so we're going to peel the film off this thing and get it going, but just to make sure that this remote has some power to the batteries, I'm gonna ask Greg here to can you just hold this in front of the studio light and let it solar charge? I'm just kidding, it's probably got power in it anyway. I gotta say, so the Energy Guide sticker says $31, and I mean, that's amazing to me. Even in eco mode, for it to only be $31, like I said. Previous television, the Hisense, I believe, was up in like $177 territory. Presumably that would also be in its eco mode, so kind of amazing that you can have a TV this big and as bright as I assume it's gonna be and still have that kind of annual electricity cost. All right, peel time. If professional TV peeler isn't something that you can put on your LinkedIn profile, then it needs to be. So I think we have a little bit more around the edges here. And I think and one more. No, fail. All right, I think that is it. I'm sure I'm gonna find some more plastic at some point to peel off, but I'm good with how far we've gotten. It's not like we're leaving the plastic on the lampshade here. Don't do that, by the way, please. All right, a power cable, and we're going to be powered on. I gotta say, yeah, Zeke, see if you can catch the anti-glare that it's doing for the studio light. Yeah, it's definitely diffusing some of that light. But I mean, it's a big TV. It's going to have some reflection to it. See if it comes on by itself, or we have to use the remote. We'll give it a second. Nope. Power button. There we go. Something tells me I'm going to want to have my phone around for this.
Two simple options. How would you like to get started? Choose one. To use the accessibility function.
Yes, I'm quite certain we'll do that later. Yeah, I know that our studio lights are very intense today, but I'm getting a little bit of reflection here. I said agree to all. Also, since we're doing shout outs today, shout out to Zeke and Chris who have to try and shoot around the studio lights on these massive TVs. I don't think anybody really understands, unless you've tried to shoot a TV yourself, just how difficult it can be to shoot such a massive TV when you're trying to have decent lighting in the room. It's really, really difficult. Wait, is it telling me that I need a Samsung account just to do these apps? I think it is. I don't remember my Samsung account. This might be the first time I've ever had like a QR code that actually expires. I don't know why that's interesting, but it is interesting to me. Bixby or Alexa, what do you think, guys? That's a trick question. Oh, there it is. Did you guys see that Samsung's ditching Tizen? Yeah, they're ditching Tizen for, I can't remember what it is.
Probably your fault.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take responsibility for that. I do like, I like these kind of messages. It's gone now, but it said that the brightness optimization was on, which I think is really important because a lot of folks don't understand that often these TVs come with the ambient light sensor on by default. And I mean, that's a really helpful feature for a lot of folks, but if you want to kind of level out the experience that you get, kind of have a predictable brightness no matter what the ambient light situation is, that's something you want to turn off. The TV is in its eco picture mode, which is something that I highly recommend everybody get out of eco mode if you want to get the top brightness from the TV. And yeah, man, it's been a while since I did a Samsung TV, but I keep forgetting that it automatically starts playing fast TV content, free advertised, free ad-supported television, fast, which I'm not a fan of. Anyway, we can put a stop to that very easily by pressing the home button, which we have done here. So by default, in movie mode, brightness is set to 23, which indicates to me that we have a lot of range to work with. This is really bothering me, this whole like, fast TV playing in the background. Like I specifically said, don't. I'm sure if I tune into an HDMI port, it'll stop doing that, but like just show me the home screen, please. Y'all know how I feel about soap opera effects, so I'm turning off all of the motion smoothing stuff for now, and then we'll play around with various settings to see if we can get a nice balance between smoothing out some stutter and not getting full-on soap opera effect. Local dimming's on standard by default. I'm gonna go with high just because I feel like it, and we'll play with that when we get to actually evaluating the measurements on this TV. Everything else looks pretty good. Oh yeah, friendly reminder to anybody who purchases a Samsung TV for both Samsung Galaxy phones and iPhone, there is a smart calibration process that you can go through. My understanding is that it works pretty well. One of these days, I'll compare my calibration to the automated calibration that uses basically the camera in your smartphone to measure the results of what it's doing. But I love that they make this available to folks. Nobody else is doing this, and that right there is worth a lot for me. Wow, well, we're gonna need to cut the lights off, but one of the first things I do with any mini LED TV or LED TV in general is I step well off angle and try and see what I can see in terms of the backlight action, look for any blooming or halo, and I mean, there might be a little bit, but it looks remarkably well controlled. The other thing I've got to say right off the bat, the off angle performance on this TV is pretty outstanding. I mean, there's a little bit of shift, but the massive amount of washout that we saw on the TCL and the Hisense, also recently the Bravia 7, not happening here. This just reinforces my opinion that when it comes to off-angle viewing tech, something implemented in the panel to make it look better from off to the side, Samsung's got it on lock. Nobody is doing it better than Samsung right now. So the conversation around where that extra $4,000 to $5,000 goes when you buy the QN90D versus say the TCL QM8 or Hisense U8K. That conversation definitely remains open. And we're gonna really need to dig into this TV and discover every single premium feature that it offers to try and justify that additional cost. With that said, however, I can tell you after 3 minutes of viewing a YouTube video, a nice YouTube video, but a YouTube video nonetheless, I can tell you right off the bat that the picture quality is at a higher level than the TCL or Hisense options. It's hard to put a finger exactly on what that is. It just looks cleaner. It looks a little bit more refined. Of course, once we measure it, we'll start discovering other things like where the peak brightness power goes and how the backlight is managed. Not just how the backlight manages blooming and halo, but also how quick it is, how it handles lighting transitions. We're gonna have to dig deep into the nitty-gritty to find out if this TV does offer the exceptional experience that you should expect if you're paying such a price premium. But like I said, we're off to a pretty good start here. So let me know down in the comments, what kind of nitty-gritty, super TV nerdy stuff would you like to see covered on this particular TV, assuming that this size is going to perform similarly to the 65-inch size, all right? So even if you aren't getting the gigantic version, any size of the QN90D, which by the way spans from, I believe, 43 inches all the way up to this 98-inch monster. One thing is for certain though, my friends, I'm gonna be having fun the next few days. I'll see you down in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and then we'll see you on the next one. And until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like. That's a GIF.